Okay. Namaste, great souls. Always wonderful to share the practice together. And as we know, yoga is so many things, but many people believe it's about the body, which it is partly, flexible body, but we also want flexible mind and a present mind. And our thoughts are very much going to determine how we feel and our well-being, as we know. So there's a metaphor that I didn't make up, but our thoughts are like we're herding sheep, okay? And when we notice one of our thoughts is going astray in a negative, harmful way that isn't helpful, we want to bring that in. We want to bring it in. We want to update it. We want to bring in comforting, wise, uplifting, humorous thoughts to just have that awareness and bring us into the now and bring us into the present moment. Now, we were talking easier said than done, but it is a practice that is can improve, and over time we may not have as much reining in to do. So that's the hope. That's the ongoing practice. The universe supports our uplifted thoughts as well. And that's not to say we don't have, of course, we have stuff, real life stuff, practical stuff that goes on that we need more attending to and more processing with. But I'm saying in a general way to just have that awareness of when one or two are going astray, and then update and change, and we can change them, and we do affirmations, and you can carve out affirmations that speak to your circumstances. So let them be comforting, wise, humorous, positive, and uplifting when at all possible. And we're going to have more balance and harmony and peace as we practice that. So let's start, and there's much more to be said about that, but we want to be doing some movement and breath work and integration and practice as we start our day for some of us. I know we've been doing other things, but maybe not yoga. So having your blanket, we're going to start on the ground again. Have your props if those are something you work with. And we're going to just start our breath practice on the floor. So we're coming down in a gentle way, easing down the low, mid, upper back, drawing the knees into the shoulders, circling those knees around. Feeling the support of the earth, Mother Earth, really receiving her support. Okay, and then you decide you want your feet, your knees bent. It really depends on your low back, or perhaps in Supta Baddha Konasana with the blocks underneath your thighs for support, because you're doing some breath work here. They're classic full yogic breath, but place a hand on the heart, the hand on the belly. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. And just think of slowing down, especially the exhale, but the inhale as well. So first exhale through the mouth. Inhale, slow, belly expands. 2, heart expands. 3, crown opens. 4. Hold the breath for a moment. Focus at the spiritual eye inwardly. And exhale through the mouth, from the crown to the heart to the belly. Find your pace and rhythm. Slow inhale, hold the breath at your pace, focus inward at the spiritual eye, and then exhale, lengthening. You could exhale through the mouth or the nostrils. And I like to think of this as like cradling, nourishing ourselves on so many levels every time we come to practice. We're taking this time out for our filling up our well-being, filling up our cup of wholeness. Hear that oceanic sound. Let it comfort you. And as we slow the exhale down, we can open to that bigger guidance, the present moment, the divine guidance that's here, that's whole, that's free. All right, so notice if there is a quality you'd like to bring into your practice. And we are working with affirmations and thoughts and flexibility of the mind and the body. If you were in Supta Baddha Konasana, bring the knees in, fold that right knee to the right shoulder, rotating the ankle a few times in each direction, and then circling the right knee, which will help open the hip. And we're going to go into figure 4. We're going to flex through the right foot, draw the right knee away from you, and in that triangle with space, reach through. Use your elbow to help open that right hip, but continue once you get into the form of the pose. Continue that full yogic breath. Inhaling when you're ready, belly, heart, crown opens. You pause for a moment and then exhale, crown, heart, belly, feet. Just notice how your right side, as you continue to full yogic breath, feels, especially this right hip. Bring in a lot of nourishment and maybe what color would be healing for you. I'm getting the color of gold, might be purple, and just sense what comes up for you for healing or restoration. And when you complete your next exhale, before we go the other side in our figure 4, we're going to add our twist. So for some of us, we're going to see if this right knee can come on top of the left knee in the cross leg. If that's too much, we go feet hip width apart. Okay? Either way, you're going to press through that left foot, swivel the hips to the right, and draw the knees down to the left. And just hydrate. Knee, shoulder, heads, necks releasing as well. When we focus on sensations, on the body, and the breath, of course, that brings us into this present moment. But even then, the mind, just notice when the mind drifts, okay? Bring it back to breath, sensation, gently, lovingly, kindly. And then we sweep our right arm up and over, and that windshield wiper effect, and affirm. Divine life is within me and all around me. Divine life is within me and all around me. So, 3 brush strokes or 4. You want to open to that divine guidance. By being in the present moment, we're much more able to receive that divine guidance. And we're going to engage the core, coming back and swivel the hips again. Fold that right knee in, gentle warm up, gentle start up. Just take a moment, full yogic breath. Letting go on the exhale. When you do the full yogic breath, plant your feet down so you support your low back. And of course, that left knee folds in, and we rotate the left ankle, our lunar witness observer side of our part of our body. And go in the other direction and circling the left knee several times. just reflecting on how this lunar side feels, but also that deeper invitation as we go into figure 4, flexing through this left foot, drawing that left knee away, and that triangle of space, reach through, and full yogic breathing. Reflecting, wow, how is my witness observer practice going? Am I zooming out of this maybe lots of different fears, doubts, insecurities, thoughts going on? Can I compassionately zoom out and witness and observe that and bring it back to this present moment with compassionate awareness, not judging? It's very hard. We know the mind judges. We know that, and compares. That's just part of what it does, but we want to up level it. We can upgrade it. We can upgrade it as your full yogic breathing into that compassionate, non-judgmental awareness versus judging, comparison awareness. So we note that, we name it to tame it. Okay, mind's judging. Let's expand. Let's not blame and shame and do all that stuff. Okay. All right. Have your complete on this side. You're going to perhaps draw that left knee on top of the right, or feet just slightly in from hip width apart. Press through that right foot, swivel the hips to the left, the knees come down to the right. We pulse back and forth, the knee and shoulder. Notice the subtleties of the foot wrapping on the inside of the knee or on the outside of the knee. See what feels best to you. And then we add the shoulder, heart opening as we affirm divine life is within me and all around me. And I'm open to receive the guidance. I'm tuning in. The divine life within me and all around me. And as I breathe and feel sensations in my body or see a flower, get open to that guidance much more clearly and easily. I don't want to put strain on our practice. Engage the core and come on up. Adjusting back into the spine and folding both knees now into the shoulders. Wide back body. Ironing out the tensions. Happy baby, reaching the feet in the inner arches and rocking from one side to the other, trying to make sure we're not just in the mid back, but feel the low back and upper back. And that wonderful reminder, if we have babies in our life, of their in present moment awareness. And it's so great to be around them because of that. But that is, of course, within us too. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and bring our right arm by our ear, rocking over to the side to gradually come into our cat-cow vinyasa flow. So turn them around. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put this double padding for the knees, although I got a lot of mat here. It's nice for the knees, underneath the hips, and appreciating all the different age stages. Wrists underneath the shoulders. And let's scoop it out. Inhale, scooping out the low, mid, upper back, eye gaze up, inner elbows forward. Exhale, round it
expanded spine, drawing in, yin phase. You can ease back towards the heels if you like, navel to the spine. Let's blow. Inhale, scooping out. Stretch the muscles of the eyes up, and then let them soften as you round in. Going yin, and then expanding one more time, yang. Just stay. We haven't experienced it yet. I want to fully live life fully in present moment awareness and neutral spine. Well, let's go ahead and come into our friend, the downward facing dog. Take our time to hover off the knees, couple breaths. And then gradually pour it back. The heart radiating toward the thighs. Pressing into the base of the fingers. Feel those muscles wrapping around the bones of the arms and the legs. I'm treading and opening the toes wide and also getting a little bit of an undulation in the spine as I invite calmness to radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Hear the sound of the breath, feel sensation, notice if any thought is hurting out in a negative direction. We shepherd it back in, and to calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being, and between the cells. Okay, let's step 1 foot forward, then the opposite, and then walk the hands back into our forward fold, 4 points of the feet balance, resting the palms at the hollows of the elbows, slight bend of the knees. Let go of unnecessary mental burdens. Relax and cast aside unnecessary mental burdens so we can open to that divine flow more easily. And depending on your back, either rounded spine, rippling up, or straight spine. So I'm going to demonstrate the ripple up one and then the straight spine later. But if you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, going up with the straight spine. And we're going to just shake it out a little bit more. Rocking and shaking is good for our well-being, stress release, and it's fun. And it's nurturing. Hopefully it's fun for you. Okay, hands to the heart. Well, let me get a sip of water here to hydrate more. We could go Eagle Heart Mudra. We could go Namaste, yielding into the earth, opening and focusing inwardly or outwardly with your hand out in front of you to the light, to the spiritual eye, the light of the spiritual eye. Divine light within us all. It's in everyone and everything. And we want to open to that light. We want to open to that light, and we want to invite others to awaken to higher consciousness within all beings. So we do the practice for ourselves and for the greater good of others. Right? Where it's expanding beyond ourselves as well. We do self-care and then expand it for other beings. So bring those people to mind. It could be the planet itself, the awakening to the light, to the higher consciousness within all beings as we tap into the spiritual eye. It's always here. We're just becoming more aware of it. We're tuning in. We're practicing awareness there whenever we can. Lengthen and grow. So the two become one. Add a mini back bend here. And then large toes turn, and we're going to swan dive forward. We're gonna interlock if possible. If that's not possible, hands come down by your sides of the body, opening the heart vastly, expansively. If possible, keep the interlock as we bend the knees and hinge forward. Lift the knuckles to the sky, yield into the earth. Couple breath cycles here. And then we're going to sweep the arms down. We're going to come into our plank, strength pose. And let's see if this is in your practice today. See if we can get that strong line of energy and then go into side plank. So the left hand comes in the center, turn the toes to the side and lift that right arm up. If this is too much, go ahead and bend your left knee. About 3 breaths here in side plank. I'm going to come back to the side. It is more intense, as you can feel. That strength training. And then coming back. Bringing one forearm down, then the other into forearm plank. Coming forward and with the heart leaning forward toward the front of the mat, then the heels toward the back of the mat, and then come down onto the tops of the knees. Just a little more strength training there before we come down into our Sphinx. Side to side, looking over one shoulder, looking over the opposite. So we will open to living our life fully. None of us know what this day is going to bring. We might have some type of structure to it, but living life fully with an expansive heart, cobra pose is such a reflection of that. So keeping the legs strong. Inhale, you could come up into half cobra or king cobra. All the way up, shoulders down, stick out the tongue, eye gaze up. Do that a couple times. Meeting life fully and freely. I am free. And knees touch down if they're not already. And we're going to do one rounded cat. Kind of do an opposite from that back bend. This cobra is a back bend, so drawing in, neutral spine, and let's see what happens when we come into our regular plank and perhaps side plank to the other side. So here's a regular plank. Right hand comes in the center. On the sides of the feet, keep lifting up through that left hip. Left arm reaches up, 2 or 3 breaths. If it's too much, right knee touches down. I'm still getting this strength. And when it's time, we come back to regular plank and then down dog. Tread it out. Really hear the sound of the breath. Might feel some heat. Solar energy. Cleansing. And let's ripple forward, bend the knees, and come back. If you like that, do that again. Cultivating calmness, peace, radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. And invoking that peace to others. May they know peace, calmness, then our ability at least to rest in that. And then stepping 1 foot forward, then the opposite. And this time, as we root down, we may want to massage the scalp. Awake my sleeping powers, awake at the back of the neck, the hollow medulla oblongata. Said it many times that the ego gets kind of stuck there. We want the flow to open to the spiritual eye, into our wisdom self, our higher self, our greater self, whatever you call that. Much better place to operate from. Heart lifts, bend the knees. Here's our straight spine coming up. In chair, reaching back with the arms, sweeping forward and pulsing. Inhale, coming up. And feeling the space all around you. Maybe circling. Feeling that energy flow is, of course, within our body, but all around us as well. Energy field. In fact, we can do a chi ball here. Chi ball and heart, solar plexus. Feel that radiant life force energy. And let's feel now moving beyond our crown to the sky, rooting down past, way past our feet into the earth. We'll do that. Sometimes called the 3 heart mudra, meaning the heart of our own heart is connected to the Father Sky, Mother Earth. And your hands into Namaste or Eagle Heart Mudra. And breathing, sensing and feeling. That's really beautiful now moment when all of those energies of creation energy is happening, and it's always available to us. We're learning to tune in more and more and receive not just our own thinking mind, the doer self. It's much more expansive, bringing in others, bringing in earth, sky, everything. Okay, creation. All right, so that was just a basic flow, as we know. Now we're going to add to it. It's going to get a little bit more challenging. So if you have a chair, I'm going to use the mantle here because we're going to go into a warrior 3 or a piece of furniture, or maybe you don't want to even use a prop. We'll see how this goes. Okay. So take a moment to get a prop if that speaks to you, because we're going to do this a couple times. In other words, we're going to do a flow and then we're going to stabilize into our Virabhadrasana 3, our balance challenge for the day. So what we're going to do is I'm facing the mantle because I'm going to extend out. We're rooting down through the left foot. We're bending the right knee, and already, of course, we're in a balance. Now notice what happens when the arms come up. And then this one, we're just, think of it more of a flow. We're sweeping back. We're not holding it. The left knee's bent a little bit. We get the feeling of our warrior 3. And then we come back up again fairly quickly. You can tap onto the floor for sure. You can reach the arms up. And then reaching back. Amidst life storms, amidst life challenges, I can find my center. Now here's the one where we're going to use the prop. So maybe we take a moment to recenter. And then we want to make sure that when you reach out to your chair or piece of furniture there, that you're in that 90-degree angle flow. And we're going to reach our arms up, that right knee up. And this is where we're going to sustain it more. So when we come forward, we're lightly touching. We're lightly touching the object. And then think of lowering that right hip down, flexing through that foot. So much easier. We're still in a balance, but we have the support of a prop. So amidst life storm, we may need lots of support of people. I don't want to say props, but whatever it takes to support ourselves amidst life storms to help us find our center. And then we're going to come back. We're not going to stay here too long. It's intense, right? So the arms reach up. It's hard sometimes to reach up simultaneously as that knee comes up. And before we go the other side, let's just expand open. We'll just blanket out. So let's expand open into star pose. And then into the interlock. Both feet rooted and grounded, coming forward. Knuckles up toward the sky, crown of the head toward the earth. Again and again, seeing what is, we can let go of what's unnecessary. Let those any insecurities, fears, doubts, worries that aren't really helping us herd those back in, or change those. Don't bring them in. We want to inhale, come up, and we want to bring in greater trust, balance, wisdom, strength. Okay. So walking our hands and feet together, feeling the effect of that Virabhadrasana 3, and 3 times we're doing it. 2 times fairly flowing fluidly, and then the 3rd time sustaining. All right. Very good. Here we go again. But this time we're rooting down, of course, on the other side. Our right foot. Balance challenge of the day. Probably more balance challenges of the day, but we're not sure what's going to happen today. The left knee comes up and then sweep back. Reaching back. Now this side's a little more wobbly for me. Interesting. Being more stable for you. Inhale, coming up. If you need to tap that foot down, feel free to do so. Then lift up. Different energies we know on each side of the body as we sweep our arms back by our side. I forgot to say, if this isn't in your repertoire, triangle or any other pose you can do. Now let's really set it up here. Find your distance and take your time to lift that knee and then to go to full extension of our Virabhadrasana 3. Our warrior 3 pose. Try to lower that left hip down. It likes to torque out to the side, flex through the toes, the back foot. Mid-sized challenges. Come back to my center. Support and do whatever it takes. Come back to your center, into that wholeness. That's the truth of who you are. Even though it's a little more challenging, you still root even deeper inward. And then slowly coming up. Whew. You may want to tap that foot down to reach the arms and then lift the knee. Very good. Coming down. Circling around. I want to give that time today to really explore Virabhadrasana 3. And then take it into our star pose again, which means the toes are turning slightly in. And the arms are wide, the heart is open, expansive. And this time, we're going to bring our hands on our hips and hinge forward, because we're going to do that shoulder work. So the wrists are underneath the shoulders, and then we're going to bring our left hand, fingertips to face the right. The whole torso is going to spin. That right arm's going to come up. Palm faces away from you on the inhale. Legs stay where they are. On the exhale, the right palm rotates in, the left elbow bends, the upper body relaxes down. We do this a couple times. Inhale, right palm away, left arm extends, spine extends. And getting under that right scapula, right palm in, left elbow bends, upper body relaxes. One more time. Inhale, right palm away, left arm extends, head to tail connected. And then we just lower this right hand down. Walk our fingertips out in front of us, our arms out in front of us, elongate. Feel the space between each vertebra.
I'm gonna ease side to side as well with the hips. Forward extension, legs strong. And of course, we want to do that to the other side. Right fingertips face the left hand, the whole torso twists. And the left palm faces away from you. Exhale, left palm in, right elbow bends, upper body relaxes. And let's do this 2 more times. Right palm away, feel that energy and joy, opening to energy and joy, and then nurturing, receiving, cradling that energy and joy. We expand and open to it, and that yang energy, and then we receive it with that yin energy. Letting the left hand come down. Ooh, fingertips face forward. Excellent. Heel toe it in. Just a little bit, because the feet are still going to be wider than the hips. Slight bend of the knees to come up. Watch the head rush. We were in that forward bend for a while. Look at the point in front of you. Woo. Back to mountain pose. All right, you're going to go into Eagle Heart Mudra, yield and feel Mother Earth. Sky, center of our hearts, receiving it all. And opening, the spiritual eye's already there. We're opening to it. Our individual self yoga union is joining that greater infinite self. We could really be here now to receive that. I've said it before, but I feel like I rip myself off, meaning when I'm not tuned in and feeling that and receiving that, and I'm just the doer, going, doing versus being and doing, and to receive that light of the infinite that's always here. It's really the true be here now. The more we tune in, the more we want to tune in, and then okay, so let's keep flowing and going. Again, another drink water break, juice break. All right, just now. All right, I'd like to do another flow, but we're going to do it flow via the Virabhadrasana 2. So we did Warrior 3, now we're going to Warrior 2. So wide stance, left foot out to the side, bending that left knee over the ankle toward the second toe, just some of those physical reminders. Expanding the heart open and pulsing down, rooting down, grounding. And then feel the difference when we turn the palms up and pulse up. We're still grounded, we're still connected, but we're feeling the uplifted energy as well. And joyfully manifest the power of the divine. Now, we're going to turn the palms to face one another, so there's a lot of rotation on the shoulders. So we're going to see if we can interlock. Watch that knee doesn't pop forward. And we're going to bring our left shoulder toward that left knee, if possible. If this is too much with the interlock, you could do the classic bent knee variation. Okay, we may do that after a few breaths here. Try to let those hips sink a little bit toward the earth more as you joyfully manifest the power of the divine. And then bring your left hand by the little toe side of the foot and just a couple breaths in our bent knee triangle. Very expansive for the side body, the right side body and the hip.
joyfully manifest the power of the divine. As I'm in the power now, you feel the power of the divine more clearly. And now the right hand comes down, rotate off that back heel, and step it back to plank. Bring one forearm down, forearm plank, then the other. Let your head come toward the front of the mat a little bit, and then the heels reach back toward the back of the mat. Do that 2 times. And then the tops of the knees touch. And here we are in our Sphinx pose again, unfurling the toes. We're going to add on a little more locust series, more back bend, energizing. Imagine that block between inner thighs, legs are strong. Recharging the spine. Inhale, lift both arms, both legs, pulse up. Exhale, ease. It's somewhat ease, not all the way. One more time, recharging the spine. And exhale, ease. And let's rest for a moment at the spiritual eye. And breathe, belly down onto the earth. Feels so comforting, hopefully soothing, nourishing. So we know we've opened the energy, expansion, yang to the yin, nurturing, receiving. Now we're open freely. I am free and open fully to this day. I was so curious what this day is going to bring as we rise up. If you're open to it, knees maybe off the ground, lion's breath. Maybe another one. Okay, and then the knees touch. Let's take rest here. Knees wide, wider than the hips into prayer pose. Maybe you need a bolster, no problem. A blanket, rest in the spiritual eye again. I like to bring the fingertips like suction cups and thumb on the mat to release the wrist. And really get into that belly breathing, full yogic breath. So let the sound bring you into this present moment. And then we're going to come into forearm down dog. So that's in your practice, it's a little stronger. So we line it up with just putting our hands by our elbows to make sure our elbows don't go wider than that set point. Okay. And then from here, palms open and we reach up, but then we magnetize the heart. And let's do some breaths of fire here. Get some navel to the spine 10 times, exhaling through the nostrils. Slow it down, cleansing breath. Sometimes we have to cleanse that junk out to come back to center. And then bend the knees just enough to transition with the forearms down as we scoop out. And then we come to neutral spine. We'll walk our hands where our elbow tips were, rounded spine. Just reflecting, hurting those thoughts that maybe are negative. Let's change them up. Bring them into a fold of uplift and balance. And step one foot forward, then the other. We're not going to be here too long because we're going to transition to our chair, to the Virabhadrasana, to the other side. So even though we're rooted, feel that lightness as we lift up And then slicing. Get you the negative thought, you can slice through it. Could be a deeper belief system, a little more ingrained. But we have the power to change. We have the power to uplift. And if we want to utilize that higher consciousness, we can change. Let's take it in. The moment here. Training ourselves, our brain, our mind, come back to the now. And you know, brain does do future past, part of what it does, but we can bring it to prefrontal now, we can tap. All kinds of things that come back to this moment. All right, Virabhadrasana 2. Sweeping the arms open, turning that right foot out to the side. Want your block here. Tracking that knee over the second toe. Try not to do this, but line up our shoulders and our hips. And again, that rooting down I find very helpful. For now, keep from the hips down, grounded. And then see what happens when the palms pulse up. So literally we have that heaven, earth energy going on with the palms up, the palms down, in a much wider sphere. I joyfully manifest the power of the divine. Let's see if this is in your practice to interlock. Now that knee comes forward, keep pressing it back, open the heart. It's a strong one. And then we lunge and surge forward. Right shoulder toward the knee. It lightly touches and not just collapsing. Tempting, but we're not collapsing. Knuckles up to the sky. Ease those hips down. You just a couple breaths here. And we'll all meet, if maybe you already went into this, the hand by the little toe side of the foot. And then the bent knee, lunge, triangle. As we extend that left side body, open the toes of the right foot, ease those hips down, open with energy and joy. Fill my body cells. We can live joyfully. We can live authentically. We can live soulfully. And bring that hand down. Rotate off the back heel. Step it back one more time. Regular plank. And we'll do one more flow through. Classic chaturanga or knee, chest, chin chaturanga. Elbows in. Toes unfurl. Before we rise into our cobra, we're going to extend our arms out to the side in our locust this time. Inhale, pulse it up. Both arms, both legs. And charging those wings of joy and ease. Taking several breaths here. Really hear that throat chakra connected to the spiritual eye. Belly perhaps as we have the feet hip width apart. Our friend Bhujangasana again. So feel like we're doing it for the first time, although we made in, I don't know how many millions of cobras. Rising up, living life fully and freely. A moment to moment awareness. Lion's breath. Excellent. And take it in from that yang energy. And feel that wonderful heart expansion into resting phase now for about 3 breaths. So you can have the arms in prayer or your knees closer and the arms back by your side in child's pose. So returning to that inner haven of peace as we ripple up. If we're in prayer, we come up that way. And we're on the earth. So we're going to just cool it down a little bit. All right. Let's go ahead and extend the left leg out. The right knee is bent. And we're gonna add a twist, bringing our left elbow, maybe not full wrap, but somewhere toward that right knee. The main thing is to get that deep twist in the torso. Right arm by our side. Flex back through the left toes. So again, twisting just notice the mind when it goes in different, not the best places, bring it back. We can change. We can change. We have that power. And we're affirming that power of awareness. And then we rotate back. You may want to use a strap or not as we extend that leg. I feel that I am safe, I am free in this moment. I am safe, I am free. Now, we could add a twist here, or you could stay where you are. If you want to add a twist in this pose, I'm bringing my hand toward the little toe side of the foot or the strap, and then you keep reaching out in that extension. So this is another, like, part B of the twist we just did. Find it much more expansive through the heart, through the hands, looking out. And then we come back in. Lengthening and growing. Before we go the other side, I believe we did this last week where we did the 6 ab crunches and then the forward bend. So if you can, feet off the ground, hands lightly by the sides of the ears, opposite elbow toward knee, exhale, blowing out the candle. I don't know if that's 4 or 6. Okay, bend the knees, lift up, move the cheeks left and right so we're rooted down on our sit bones, and we tap in into our forward fold, seated and affirming. I'm safe, I am sound, I am free, I am able to reflect and change and grow and fold inward. Feel the different effect of the forward bend seated versus standing. You get much more of a blood flow rush standing, of course. If that's too much, this is a nice alternative. Inhale, heart lifts, arms sweep up. Exhale, space all around you as well as within you. As we bend our left knee. Find your space here. You can sit on a blanket. I forgot to say that. Give a little bit of uplift. Right corner of the abdomen toward the left. That's the key here in our twist. Hugging that left knee. Using your left hand like a kickstand. Opening up, peeling the right toes back. Now you can sustain it in the twist, or you can ease back with every breath. So on the exhale, twist a little bit more. Inhale, a little bit more ease, or sustain. Left and right and all around, life's harmonies are mine. I'm bringing in that harmony. I'm bringing in the thoughts in my mind. I'm shepherding those in. And also things that aren't working, we need to get those out and talk about those as well, not bypassing any of it. But in our, you know what I mean, in our daily shepherding practice, it's gonna serve us best as we extend and grow and use our strap, or perhaps this, our right hand by the little toe side of the foot. Watch out we don't round the spine. Keep lifting through the heart and twisting. Heart wide open through the arms, through the hands, and the legs extended. Left and right and all around. Life's harmonies are mine. I'm safe, I'm sound. If you're complete, you come back. And we do one more of just the ab part of it, and then we'll do the back release. Okay, optional. Or we can get these in. Okay, opposite. Okay, then lift up and then melt down. Take your time. Low back, mid back, upper back. Thank you, body, for all that you can do. You know, in yoga, we're we're not limited to only our body, but we want to appreciate this vehicle getting us through, and the different stages of our lives, the different ages and phases of our lives. All right, and let's add that circling and hip opener with the inner borders of the feet together. I like to always add a bridge into the practice. So plant the feet down, large toes in, no wider than hip width apart. So this affirmation, as we root down first through the low back and then lift up, you decide how high you want those hips to come up. And then perhaps rocking one shoulder then the other underneath you, inner thighs magnetizing toward one another. You can either interlock like that or bring the hands above the chest and make that plate circles. Every thought that we're talking about a lot today is a bridge back to grace, to my true self. Every thought is a bridge back to divine grace. We have that ability. Be compassionate with yourself. If you forget that ability, it's an ongoing practice, right? Lots of opportunities here. And then arms, let's bring them down by our side, a little bit easier than above the head, to melt down again from the upper back to the mid back to the lower back. Got a little arc on the inhale and then flatten on the exhale. Arcing curl. Belly expands, low back, and the entire spine touches the earth on the exhale. Going down, we're going to bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat, the windshield wiper twist. We did the crossing twist in the beginning, arms wide, heart open. And we bring the knees over to the right, head to the left. And just keep returning to that deepest affirmation. If you want to sweep that left arm overhead, you're welcome to. Divine light is within me and all around me. And I'm listening to it. I'm listening to that guidance inwardly. And there's a lot we could say about outwardly too, speaking satya, truth to one another. To speak a little bit about that as we engage the core again. Bring the knees back up. adjust onto the spine and bring the knees over to the left. So in, maybe a little bit as we sweep this right arm up and over, having more challenging conversations, and this comes up a lot for people. Do they speak their truth? We want to reflect if this is going to be useful to that person. Is it really necessary? Is it useful? Is it helpful? Is it kind? So that's the art of communication. So many things involved there, but just being mindful, of course, of our communication to others too. That's a big one. Engage the core. You get the idea there. We're reflecting inwardly on our thoughts, belief systems, and we're also reflecting outwardly on our communication. What is it necessary? Is it useful? Is it kind? And yet we probably do need to communicate this. It's the best way to go about this. It is an art form there, of course. All right, hugging and giving yourself, cradling, that nurturing. We did a whole practice. That's fantastic. You made it to the mat today, did the yin and the yang, and the gift of filling up the well of your heart and also others. We're helping others as we do our practice, bringing them in for their expansion of their higher consciousness as well and their wellness. So sense and feel what would feel the best for you for your restoration, for your restorative pose. Would that be a couple options: legs up the wall, legs over a couch or a chair, some type of easy inversion. If there's no back issues and you want a greater heart opening, take the bolster, but don't sit on it. Have it on your lower back. If you are going to do the Supta Baddha Konasana, I definitely recommend blocks on the outside of the thigh for support. So take your time to get set up here for deep interiorization, Pratyachara restoration, where we really steep and soak in the healing energy. We allow all the meridians to flow in a healthy, open, expansive way. Now we're receiving, and the universe is supporting this receiving energy. Okay. All right, once you're settled, or continue to settle, continue to nurture, to cradle. If it's possible, depending on your positioning, if it's healthy for your head to rock side, gently to side, go ahead and do that. Flexible mind, we've talked a lot about today, letting our thoughts, we can do this, we can shepherd them in if one's gone astray or several, to kind and loving, positive, uplifting, comforting, wise, or humorous. Many options here. Update and change, willing to change. And letting the breath, letting the life force energy open through the crown. We want to know that healing energy is there between the cells and within the cells of the body, intercellular tissues.
We're just resting in natural, open awareness. Softening the eyes, letting the eyelids get heavy. Relaxing the upper and lower jaw. Hearing the sound, that right ear, left ear, the ear canals. Hearing both the internal sound and whatever outer sounds are happening. Feel the cool air coming in through the nostrils, left and right. Maybe coolness or openness or color at the spiritual eye. Warm cooked air coming out of the nostrils. Hear that oceanic sound and most audible in the throat. Sound of the breath will bring you back to the eternal now. Feeling that left shoulder soften away from the ear, radiant sensation flows through that arm into the palm of the left hand and fingers and thumb. Feel the left side of the torso. Ease of breath and being, harmony and peace. And softening that right shoulder away from the right ear, radiant sensation streamlining down that right arm. Pulsation perhaps in the right palm, right fingers and thumb. Feel the right side of the torso. Harmony and peace, or color of healing. And then resting in the heart center and the chest cavity, the floor, the ceiling, the side walls of the chest. Again, resting in that natural, open awareness. And then taking refuge in the awakened ones that generate and motivate to awaken ourselves. And that as we do that, we also benefit all sentient beings. Your heart's capacity to radiate joy and compassion, loving kindness and strength, equanimity to yourself and to all beings. Moving into the center of your body, letting your belly radiate those qualities again of joy and compassion. kindness, strength, and equanimity to all beings. If you're lying on your back, feel your back body getting heavier and supported. Letting your hips ease left and right, and just continuing the body scan. Melting any holding, excess holding in the thighs, the knees, the calves, ankles, all the way down to the soles of the feet, digits of the toes. Already whole, already free, already aware, resting in the truth of your nature. And radiating that out to others as well. And just noticing if you'd like to come back to movement now or stay in interiorization, restoration. If you are, gently return to movement, wiggling the fingers and toes any way you'd like. Knowing you have a flexible body and flexible mind. Willing to change negative thoughts and beliefs and update them. More comforting, wise, and uplifting thoughts. So that you have new insights, willingness to change and grow. And we really take the time again to send this healing energy to others, that we're benefiting ourselves and others as we practice together. There's this osmosis that happens in our practice. We all bring different qualities, some more practical, some more ethereal, all kinds of energy. And we're going to send those out, that healing energy, to others, visualizing them as the spiritual eye. It could be pets, people, the planet. Healing energy, creating some heat, and the sound, the inward sound of the Om, the 3-syllable Om sound, we're sending that outwardly. That's radiating all the time inwardly. Now we send it outwardly. Inhale. And bring our hands in Namaste, acknowledging the divinity within, recognizing that divinity within everyone and everything. That's where we are one, bowing to the wisdom of our hearts, letting it lead the way. Those, I will stop the recording.